Yes, people. What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Saeed TV. We are live for another video, and we have the big Manchester derby in the building. Big up to everybody who's watching. I hope you like the new intro. You get me? Nice little intro. You know what I'm saying to you.
Looking fresh,
LB,
that
you like
bro.
it, man?
Yeah,
Did you
bro.
like it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's. I think you made the right decision in keeping the intro tune. I don't know what the chat think about that, but I think the
Yeah.
intro
Shout out
tune's
to
still
Moffat,
hard,
man.
man. But the graphics, great upgrade, looking fresh, looking fresh.
Come on. Come on. Big up, man. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Big up to everybody who's locked in. LB, man. Manchester Derby weekend, man. You know what I'm saying? It's are you nervous, or are you kind of like one of them where, because a lot of City fans have come up to me. I remember I was out for my birthday weekend, what's it called, last week, yeah. And I remember City fans just coming up to me and saying, "Oh, what do you reckon of fight the derby?" I was like, "Yeah, I don't know, man. I think you guys are gonna smoke." Because they were like, "No, not sure. You know, I think it'll be 2-2." And they were a bit apprehensive in that regards. How are you feeling going to this one, to this Manchester derby?
Um, I have some nerves. My nerves always like are late. So like, normally I'm quite calm for big games up until like 5 minutes, 10 minutes
Yeah,
before the game, and then when I see the players in the tunnel, then I'm like, oh damn. But yeah,
yeah,
because I think City need to win the game. Really, Arsenal are playing Sheffield United, so they're going to win that, and they'll be 3 points ahead of us. And I just think this is really, for me, an opportunity, because next week they play Newcastle, and I know they've got injuries in that, but that's obviously an opportunity that they might drop points. We play Bournemouth, so it's kind of like role reversal. We could potentially go up on them. So I think really City needs to be winning this game. I mean, putting jokes aside for a second, United are trash. You know what I mean? United are trash, and
yeah.
it's City need to win. It's going to be a huge disappointment if City don't win the game from my point of view. Because listen, I ain't taking any of your players in the combined 11. I'm glad you didn't ask me to do one of them, because it would have just been me saying no, no,
I was
no,
thinking,
no.
man, nah, no, we
Yeah,
can't do
you know
one
what
of
I
them.
mean.
We
So
can't do one of them.
you're in dead form in terms of like even your wins. You're literally scraping your wins. And City looking all right now that Rodri's come back into the team. So listen, feel free to cook me. If you end up getting a win, feel free to cook me. I deserve the cooking. But City
Yeah.
really need to be winning this game. We need to get the 3 points. You done us last year, but there was other things that happened in that game that will unlikely to happen in this one. You've obviously got the refereeing decision. You got the fact that our defense in that game caused the problems for me. You know what I mean? Whereas this game, we're gonna have John Stones, Diaz, Guardiola in. We didn't have any of them players in the game last year. So I think we will win. In terms of will we smoke you or not,
Mm.
I actually think that depends on you guys rather than us, because I don't know how you're going to play.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
true.
if you decide to get brave and think, you know
Mm.
what, we're going to play these guys, then potentially, yeah, if we get the spaces. But I don't think he's going to do that. I think that will be a very risky strategy for him. I think you're going to play Ollie ball, counter attack tactics, and then obviously it's tighter, lack of spaces. And I think in that case, I
Who would
don't
have
see a
thought, man?
thrashing, man.
Who would have thought Ten Hag would be coming in and we'd be talking about Ollie Ball 2 years later, man? It's mad. It's mad. I'm going to start off with a little bit of an icebreaker to start off with. I don't know if you've seen Pelestri and what he said about Man City fans. I don't know if
Yeah,
it's riled
weird
them
kid,
up,
man.
but
Why is it? Who does that, bro?
hey, listen, who does that is it's rattled Guardiola, man. This is actually what you call it pre-Derby Day tactics. Let's see what Guardiola said about the situation. What Pelestri said, that he's seen a lot of Man United fans in Manchester, but not a lot of City kits in
Hey,
Manchester.
Pep,
Let's see
have
what
you
he said.
seen the quotes from Facundo Palestri overnight where he's talking about Manchester City supporters?
Nope.
He says he lives in Manchester and goes around with his girlfriend trying to find City jerseys in the city centre, and says that he doesn't see any.
Weird kid.
Do you think that's a bit of a strange thing for an individual to do, to go around the city centre looking for shirts of another team?
I will speak with the Puma department and say what happened. That we don't have shit. It's okay. Is this guy and his girlfriend believe that? It's fine.
Just on a more serious one about the chants
Yeah.
about Bobby.
Are you saying it's not serious what Palestri said?
You know what, man? Pep Guardiola's good sport, though. He's good sport, man. I like Pep Guardiola. He's one of them where,
Mugged him off, by the way, big time there. Palestri. He's just
yeah,
Jack Gordon, who's the interviewer who asked that question, has just mugged Palestri off. The way he asked that question, do you think it's a little bit
yeah, I know.
strange for a person to go out into Manchester looking for Manchester City? That's weird, man. He's mugged him off there, 100%. Who is this Palestri kid
But you know
anyway,
what?
man? I've heard that a couple of United fans have been gassing up. Is he the real deal or what?
Well, he's a young kid, innit? He's obviously not good enough to maybe start games anymore. But you know what? When he's done well, he's actually been okay. But don't get me wrong, he's not ready to be maybe starting games for Manchester United. But like I said, he's only seeing what he sees on the street. Maybe he lives in Hale. Maybe he lives in a different part of Manchester where you could go. Manchester, it could be full of City fans. Where you could go differently, it's full of United. But listen, it adds to the spice, though. It adds to the spice, and I feel like for me, we need it. We need it. Because I feel like for me, going into this derby, it feels like big up to BXO1. It feels like there's a lot of talk about Man City going to dominate United, they're going to destroy United, they're going to do whatever they need to do. But you've come into this derby feeling a lot of times that way. And when you've done that, I feel like Man United have won a game, maybe. When you look at the game before lockdown, we beat you then. We beat you last year when you thought you're going to come here and dominate us. Like, do you reckon Pep Guardiola might overthink it in that regards and maybe kind of look at it and think, you know what, they're so bad at the minute, let's just destroy them. And then all of a sudden, Man United, it might suit their game. Or do you reckon, but you're just that good and we're just that shit?
Well, the second part to the question is correct. Yeah, we are that good and you are shit. But I don't actually think we've got the personnel for him to do that because Kanji's out, De Bruyne's out. I think our team, up until maybe the attacking third, it almost picks itself. You know, you're looking at the defense, that picks itself. And our defense, like fundamentally, the reason why we struggled against you last year, in my view, is because our defense couldn't play a forward pass. Right. So what happened is you had Gundogan or Bernardo. I should really check who played in that game because I keep on saying about this. But you had one of them two coming from the midfield, dropping deep to try and pick the ball up, right? Which left Kevin De Bruyne isolated, and he was marked out of the game by Fred because he was isolated.
Yeah.
So we couldn't get the ball forward. And we were just passing the ball between our defenders the whole game. The difference is in this game, you got Guardiola. He's going to be able to play a forward pass. You got John Stones. He didn't play last year. You got Diaz. He's going to be able to do that.
This was your team that played last year,
right? So
in the derby.
Exactly. Look at that back four, man. Cancelo dribbles the ball forward. He doesn't really play forward passes. Ake can't do it. Akanji was still fresh at the time, and Walker's not very good at it as well. So none of our back line really last year was able to play a forward pass. So you had Bernardo Silva dropping deep to pick the ball up off the defence, which left Kevin De Bruyne man-marked against Fred, and we just can't get the ball forward. The difference is this year, it's going to be fundamentally a different game because our defence is going to be able to push that ball up the pitch, and hopefully we'll actually have some attacking threat. And also that defence, I look at that defence now and I just think that is, compared to Guardiola, Diaz, John Stones and Walker, I'm just like, that's chalk and cheese, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and obviously we had Luke Shaw playing centre back and he locked up Haaland, man. For me that day, I don't know what it was, but I just felt like you were just playing in between these two here. Just kept passing. I think most of your passes came from Nathan Ake and Akanji, and you kind of made the game quite slow for you in terms of build-up. No De Bruyne now this time, though, so there's a lot of emphasis on now Alvarez to come in and create that space. I mean, do you think Man City have been playing well this season, though? Be honest, like, do you think it's been more a different way of Man City? Because I feel like for me, you haven't kicked into gear yet in terms of what this new Man City are doing without De Bruyne, in a sense.
I think there's been games where we've played well, and I think there's been moments where we've played well. And if you look at where we are in the league, if you look at the fact that it's 3 wins out of 3 in the Champions League group stage, I think for me, I'm very happy at where my club's at right now this season. You know what I mean? What we're 2 or 3 points behind Spurs. Happy with that, no problems. You know what I mean? We're top of the group in the Champions League. We've seen moments of brilliance without Kevin De Bruyne. We're hearing now that Kevin De Bruyne is going to come back much sooner than first anticipated. It was originally mid-January. Now it's looking like potentially end of November. So that's basically a month and a half earlier than first expected. I'm very happy where my club's at. And everybody knows, isn't it? City are usually slow starters. You know, and other than the two games in the Premier League against Wolves and Arsenal, both of which we didn't actually deserve to lose either of the games. I don't think we deserved to win either of them, but we didn't deserve to lose them either. We've been all right in both matches in all the games so far. So yeah, bro, I'm pretty calm with where we're at, man. I'm pretty calm with where we're at. I wouldn't say, like I said, I wouldn't say we've been at our best, but City are never really at our best in the first part of the season. You know what I mean? Like, you guys are the ones that need to be worrying, man, because you guys are so bad. It is unbelievable at how much you. I mean, I called it earlier. I said in the summer, I think you regress this season. Man, I put my hands up and said I didn't even think you'd be this bad. Like, honestly, like even your wins are depressing to watch. Do you know what I mean? And I just don't know where you guys are at with. I mean, it's a weird one because if you lose, you could find yourself 10th, right? But at the same time, if you win, I think that's 3 Premier League wins on a row. So it's kind of like it's a bit mad, to be honest with you, at United. But I just feel that United is such a messed up club right now. You know, everything from the top to I was on with Lee before, Lee Gunner, and we were speaking about it, and I said like everything at United from the top to the bottom is just a mess. I think that Ten Hag has played himself into a bit of a dodgy position because I got to ask you, and obviously you got a lot of United fans in the chat, so I'm just asking the question so people let me know what you think. But do you think that Ten Hag, because obviously done well last year, innit? You know what I mean? Like there's red flags obviously with some big defeats. Ultimately, you got top 4, success. You won the Carabao Cup, success. You got to the FA Cup final, but you know, embarrassing. But you still got there. It's decent, right? But you played a lot of counter-attacking football last year. Do you think that actually he's almost inadvertently, because obviously he didn't mean to do it, inadvertently screwed himself in a way? Because if he now wants to try and change the way of that United are playing to a more possession-based team, but obviously with that's going to come some shock results because you're learning. It's going to take time. That there's then pressure on him in the next game to go, you know what, I can't afford another defeat, so I'm gonna retreat back to last year's tactics. But then people like you and United fans are saying, whoa, we don't want to see this dead football. But because it's a results-based game, he's under pressure to get results, so he's reverting back.
That's it. He's caught in 2 worlds. Yeah, you're spot on. I think for me, last season we've seen some good football, some bad football, but overall, I don't think United fans were that asked about his style of play in a sense because it was his first season. The second season comes in now, and it looks like it's worse than the first season, and it's supposed to be getting better in the second season. You're supposed to see a more fluent style of play. You're supposed to see a more coherent style of play, and that we haven't got yet. And that is the ultimate kind of, for me, I would say, stumbling block for Ten Hag. You know, if he's got principles and he plays good football, I think ultimately most fans will be like, you know what, we can see where he's going. But he hasn't done that, and he hasn't got results now as well. And that's the thing about it for him, is that he hasn't got results, and that's ultimately results speak for himself. And this season he's lost 4 games already. He loses this game, that's 5 games already. 5 games, and that is unforgivable. And if you get the 5th game against Man City and you lose that game, wow, man. That's where a lot of fans can turn, man. And in the Manchester Derby, it's the worst feeling to lose on the Manchester Derby. But lose it as well. Because I remember Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, when he lost that derby, it was almost like the turning point, for him, in terms of the fans giving up. And I feel like it's the same with us right now, is that we're losing this game now. Fans could turn and be like, you know what, we got no hope. We got absolutely destroyed by Man City. You know what I mean? And that could really, really turn the fortunes for us. So I don't know, man. I just think for me, it's very, very bleak. And I was on the Big Six yesterday, and I tried to find some ways where we could beat Man City. But right now, I just don't feel it. I just don't feel the energy. I just don't feel the hype. I just don't feel anything,
Yeah,
bro.
because I remember last year, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Last year, I'm pretty sure going into the game, like most people thought that City would win, but I'm pretty sure you was pretty confident that United was going to get a result last year. But I've done the same as you, bro. I've tried to think of a way, and I'm doing this like legit, not mocking. I'm trying to think of a way of like, okay, if United win on Sunday, how do they beat us? Right? And I'm looking at it saying, okay, defensively, that defense that we're going to play on Sunday is going to be 10 times better than the one that we played there last year. And we're not going to have the same issues as we had last year. Haaland now is looking standard again now that Rodri's back into the team. Our wingers are cooking. The only area of the pitch that sort of gives me not a worry, because it's still pretty good, but that's not ideal, is our attacking mid. because I don't. If he plays Kovacic, he started pretty good this season, then he just turned whack for some reason. And Alvarez, who has been great, probably our best player this season, but has had a couple of quiet games. That's the only area of the pitch that I think, if them two are quiet, our two attacking mids, could we struggle to create? Everywhere else, I'm looking at your defense. I'm thinking, okay, our attack should be able to deal with your defense. I'm looking at your attack, thinking our defense should be able to deal with your attack. I struggle to see how we lose the game. And I know that's like pure clippable or whatever, but like last year, I could probably give you like ways that we could lose again. This year, I'm like, if we lose this game, that has to be on City. That has to be on City. You know what I mean? We're so clear United right now. If we don't win, that is our fault, which puts its own pressure on us, to be fair. You know what I mean? Because if we do lose, it's embarrassing, man.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%, man. Listen, I don't know. I think for me, it's one of them where it's difficult for me to kind of look at advantages. But let's say the strike force, I mean, stopping Erling Haaland at the minute. I know I put the title in a funny way, but can Maguire, I mean, who's on a bit of form, can he keep hold of Erling Haaland? I mean, Erling Haaland this season hasn't been maybe the Erling Haaland of last season. How do we stop Erling Haaland? I mean, the best thing we did last year was we made sure that he received the ball high up the pitch and we kept him in like the middle of the park. But this season, Haaland, talk to me. What ways do you reckon we could keep him at bay or supply line? What are we saying?
Yeah, so I said this within a month of watching him at City, right? I called it from straight away. I said, you don't stop Haaland. You can't stop Haaland. You stop the supply. If the ball gets into Haaland, it's probably too late, man. It's probably too late because his movement in the box is frightening. I mean, you guys had Van Nistelrooy was a very, very good movement guy in the box. You know what I mean? Some other strikers are more sort of P&P, like whatever other skills. Van Nistelrooy was a bit like that with his movement inside the box. Benzema, again, especially as he got older, it's sort of later years at Real Madrid, movement in the box was frightening. You can't stop. The ball gets to these players. It's too late. You got to stop the ball getting to him. Wolves, stop the ball getting to Haaland. Arsenal, stop the ball getting to Haaland. So, in a way, yes, you have to obviously play well against him. You have to defend well, but you've got to find a way of stopping that ball getting to him, man. That's obviously why I said earlier. Do I say how does City not win the game? It's probably the attacking two. If they're not creative enough, if they don't create chances for Haaland, and obviously you can throw the wingers in there as well, then how do we score? Because Grealish doesn't score goals. Bernardo doesn't really score goals. He's got a cracker against you a few years ago, actually, at Old Trafford in the Cup, but he doesn't usually score goals. Kovacic doesn't score goals. Do you know what I'm saying? So you don't stop Haaland, you stop the supply. You stop the supply because he's not Harry Kane, man. You know what I mean? This guy ain't dropping deep and getting on the ball. He's a finisher. That's his game, man. So I think you're probably looking at. Well, I was going to say Casemiro, but apparently is he out?
Casemiro's available. Casemiro's available.
Oh, is he available?
Yeah, he's available. He was just suspended for the Champions League. That was all.
I thought he was injured.
That was all it is. No. He was injured, but I think he should be available. Should be back here, fit available. I think he was out for the pre. Yeah, go on.
You're looking at him. You're looking at if you play McTominay or Amrabat or whoever in that CDM position to stop the attacking creative players. You're looking at the fullbacks to stop our wingers. That's how you stop Manchester City, man. But obviously, it's easier said than done, bro.
Absolutely, man. Guys, big up to everybody watching. Make sure you guys like the video, people, man. It will help the channel out massively if you could do that. So yeah, please, if you could please, right now, hit the like button on the video.
Come on, man. You know what hit the like button, people. It's 78 likes, man. What's happening here?
Yeah, man. People are slacking it, man. I don't know what people are doing, man. But smash the like button on the video, people. But yeah, he said it's a race against. Oh, he said it's a race against time. Oh, so he might not play. He might not play, man. So it ain't easy. Amrabat might have to do that situation there, man. He might have to be the one where he can come in and do something. But you know what? I feel like for me, Man United at the minute can't score goals. And Man City's defense, how many goals have you conceded this season?
I think it's 7 in the league or something. We've got the best defense in the league.
7 in the league. One of the best defenses in the league.
7 in
We've scored one in a strike force, and that is from Rashford against Arsenal. My thing is, we can contain Man City, but we also have to score goals. I mean, what have you made of our attack? in terms of, you know what I mean, Haaland, Rashford, Anthony. What do you think's our best attack? Is it going to work with Rashford? I mean, Rashford today, I don't know if you've seen Ten Hag, but he's basically saying, I'm going to play through his bad form, which is crazy. You can't drop him or you can't do anything. Rashford has 3 league goals since February. There you go. It's not great, man. Our form has dropped off. His goals have dried up. Anthony don't really get goals. I mean, it's not looking good, man. I can't lie to you for our front three, but boy, I just don't see where the goal's coming from. And your
Yeah.
defense, if Guardiola's in there, you do have a quick defense, you know, and
Yeah,
Kyle
of
Walker
course.
should play. The pace it could be non-existent, man. To be honest with you,
This is what I'm saying. You've hit the nail on the head there, because earlier on I was saying, how does City lose this game? If City have an off day in front of goal, you contain us, like you just said, that's possible.
yeah.
But how do you actually beat us? That's where I'm like, how do United beat City on Sunday? Like I said, I can maybe see a draw. That can always happen if we have an off day. But how do you guys actually score against us? You know what I mean? I think, how would I start if I was United? Okay, well, I mean, I don't even know, bro. To be honest, it's difficult. I think, the B-Tech Haaland, put jokes to one side.
Listen.
From what I've seen, he looks
Hey.
all right. He does look all right. But
He looks a machine, though. He looks. You know what it is with Haaland? He's just got no service, man. That's the problem. And when he does have service, okay, he should do better in terms of chances. But bro, if he had a supply like a Haaland, the difference between Haaland and Haaland is that Haaland's a goal machine, but also he misses a lot of chances. How many big chances does Haaland really miss? Be honest. He misses a lot, though, doesn't he?
I don't think he did last year. I think last year was very, very efficient, as sort of proved by his goals. This year, I mean, to be fair, I think in the first month or two, he probably missed a few, but he's not. I don't really remember him missing many sitters recently. You know what I mean? It's more at the start of the season. But nah, with Haaland, I think Haaland's obviously a good player, but he can't do it on his own, right? So who plays with him? I mean, Anthony, he just doesn't really inspire confidence, in my view. I just think I don't know. I just don't really rate him, to be honest with you. I think he's all right. He's average. Rashford is a purple patch player. Always has been. Always will be. I'm absolutely stunned that you guys give him the wages that you give him. I think it's an absolute joke. I mean, if you look at his career, Premier League stats, he has a good year, then he has a shit year, then he has another shit year, good year, decent year, shit year. He's not consistent. And I actually think that you need to ask yourself the question, can he actually play in a sort of high-press team? Because whenever I see Rashford play at his best, bro, you can disagree if you want, it's more sort of like counter-attacking. It's more sort of like use his pace. If you press and the guys are low block, you know what I mean? Does he really bring that much to the table? Don't know. Bruno, well, depends if he turns up. You know what I mean? Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. Like Garnacho maybe is, want to just start because he can do a little bit of everything, I suppose. But honestly, man, I think you guys have problems, man. Serious problems. It's not like you've not spent money in those positions as well, bro. You bought Sancho, 80 million? Anthony, 80 million. You spent a lot of money, and you look at the attack, and it's just like, bloody hell, that is some bad attack.
By the way, what do you think of the Sancho treatment? By the way, do you think it's right? What's going on right now in terms of Sancho?
Interesting. Yeah. So I think that Sancho probably has done something wrong, right? But I think the way Ten Hag handled it has been bad. I think it's been bad personally. I think when he come out and said it in the interview after the game, he said it after a loss, right, or a draw.
Yeah, if the loss to Arsenal.
I think that's cowardly, man. Honestly, I think you do that in a sort of power position. If you've just won a big game, then you come. I think doing that after a loss, I think it's cowardly, man. I think and to be honest, I think he handled the Ronaldo stuff really, really well. But that, I don't think he's handled it well at all. And now what happens? Because Sancho ain't backing down. He's saying, I'm not apologising, I ain't done nothing wrong or whatever. I do think he's probably done something wrong. Has it been overblown by the club and Ten Hag? I don't know. But I just don't think that was a wise choice from Ten Hag. Because I see rumours as well saying that some of the players agree with Sancho. Some of the players don't agree with Ten Hag. So then he's like, has he split the dressing room on the matter? I just don't think he handled that well at all, bro. And like I said, I don't think Sancho was innocent. But yeah, for me, I think he went about that the wrong way. Personally, I wouldn't have blown it up like that. You know what I mean? If you know Sancho ain't just going to take that. You know what I mean? Ten Hag, that was naive. What do you think? He's just going to call out a player for being lazy or whatever and turning up late and then just be like, expect the player to be like, oh yeah, no worries. Especially not Sancho.
I think, yeah. I think for me, both of them, I technically are in the wrong because both of them, they've got a disagreement. I've always said it's more than just training because I'm seeing a lot of players that are training well, but they're never performing. You know what I mean? So this idea that you can train, but then never. There's so many players back in the day that were the worst trainers, but then when they got to the football pitch, they were unbelievable. I think Eddie Hazard was a prime example. I'm not comparing Eddie Hazard to Sancho. What I'm trying to say is training doesn't always mean that you're going to be a great player. And I think for me, Ten Hag should never have said what he said, but then a lot of people then are going to be like, well, Sancho has every right to defend himself. That's just the way I kind of look at it.
Of course he does.
But then the problem is, though, what happened after that? They must have something must have happened after that. Something must have been blown in the training ground or wherever it was, where, you know, I feel like for me, they must have had a massive, massive disagreement. And then they refused to apologize to each other. And then maybe had to be kind of taken away from each other. That's the way I kind of look at it.
And whose fault's that? Ten Hag. Because he went out and he blasted the player. Do you know what I mean? If I end this stream, right, and do another stream with someone else and say, oh yeah, that's Saeed, he's a proper knob and he's lazy and he's all this. What, are you just going to sit there and just be like, yeah, I'm not going to sell? No, you're going to come out and defend yourself. And then we're going to have a clash. We're going to have an aggression and a debate about it. And you either make up and shake hands or you go separate ways. That's how debates work. That's how it happens in life. And ultimately, Ten Hag done that because he was the one that started it off. You know, Sancho may have started the chain of events by being late to training, disobeying Ten Hag's orders, not working hard in training, whatever it is. We'll probably never find out, right? But ultimately, what actually kicked all this off was Ten Hag coming out and saying what he did in the press conference. And people comparing it to Pep Guardiola with Phillips, that's completely different because, one, Pep Guardiola has the authority over the players that Ten Hag does not yet have over Manchester United because, you know, with all due respect, like Ten Hag's coming from Ajax, and a lot of these players are probably like, you know, don't really respect him like as highly as the City players respect Pep. Why? Because Pep's done all this stuff in the game that Ten Hag's not done. Also, you know, you got to know the player profile. Sancho, if you know anything about Sancho is not the type of guy just to sit there and be like, oh yeah, I'll take it. He just slagged me off in front of the world. And I'm just going to say, Calvin Phillips ain't going to do that, is he? Calvin Phillips is going to take it on the chin. Player profile. It's a completely different situation. There's no way back for Sancho now. There's no way back. He'll be gone in the summer or probably January, to be honest. But who's going to take him? Because he went on strike at City as an 18-year-old, bro. So, you know
listen, man, it's one of them. Sancho ain't going to be there anyway, so we have to focus on what we've got. I'm looking at the midfield battle. Let's talk about the midfield battle. You've got Rodri, Alvarez, and I think it'll be Bernardo Silva. I'm sorry, but I don't think it'll be anyone else. It'll be Bernardo Silva. We've got Amrabat. I'm going to say Casemiro will be not fit enough to play, and I think it'll be Eriksen and Bruno Fernandes. See, that midfield could work, but the problem is, though,
I think so.
Can we get the ball?
Amrabat.
Yeah, well, who else is there? Who else?
No.
Who do you want?
There's no one else. I'm just saying, are you confident that will work?
I think for me, to be honest, I don't even want Bruno to play. I want Mount to play. Mount, Eriksen, and Bruno. But then the problem is, if Casemiro is available, it would be Casemiro, Eriksen, and Bruno for that. And Amrabat. I would want to go 2 sitters and Eriksen in the 10 role. That's what I would want if Casemiro is fit and available. But if it's not, then maybe Mount would be in there. I would generally drop Bruno, but then because I know Bruno will play on the right, and then when he plays on the right, he's not effective. So, but
you know, I always watching your content, bro. You've proper gone off Bruno, aren't you? Like, I know you've always had like a little bit of.
You know, it is. A lot of people don't realize I was one of Bruno's biggest fans when he was starting at Man United, and I used to defend him a lot. But you know what happened, though? I think for me, petulance came in. I think the arrogance of the player, man, he just thought he's better than what he is, and then he just didn't impact games enough for me. I just found him missing in big games. And when you go missing in big games, I just don't like it for me because you're the main guy. And I just said to myself, hold on a minute, I can't put someone on that. I can't elevate someone to that level when I don't see him perform in the big games. In the big 6 games away from home, he's been, for me, ghosting. And that's why I feel like I've given him credit where it's due. But then I've also said, you know what, man? Nah, man, I'm not really liking that, man. I think he moans a lot when he doesn't need to moan. think he doesn't control what he can do. I think sometimes he can be. You can play against you as well because he gives the ball away so many times. But I do know what he's good at, and that is the final third. Last season was a prime example. I know it was a controversial goal, but we got a goal out of, you know what I mean, that final third, and Bruno Fernandes did score. So I know what he's good at, I know what he's bad at, but I still think for me, he doesn't do enough for me for us to win big titles. I don't know. If you told me next season we could replace Bruno Fernandes with a better player, I'd do it. You know, I'd do it. I genuinely would. You know what I mean? Because I always think he's not a player that you can think, wow, he's unreplaceable. No. Every player for me in this Man United team can be replaced. We've not won anything significant for any player to not be replaced. So I don't know, man. Would you have Bruno Fernandes in your team?
No, yeah, and you know why? Quality. If you have to be purely quality, I'd have him in my squad, right? But I can't stand his moaning. You know what I mean? You're playing football. You've got the best job in the world, right? And as fans, we want to see our players enjoying the game. You know, you want to see your players playing football with a smile on their face. And every time I watch him, all he ever does is moan. And I'm just like, bro. I remember, it was funny, actually. We were speaking about Sancho. Was it last year or the year before? Sancho actually told him to shut up in a game because he was moaning that much. And he said, stop yapping. And it's just like, bro, you've got the quality. Everyone knows you got the quality. He's a good player, right? But his moaning is a madness. And I can't believe he was made captain, bro. I can't believe he was made captain because I just think he sets the complete wrong example. A captain should be a leader that gets on with it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if he's my leader, because of all his moaning, I'm following him, right? So if he's moaning all the time, I'm gonna start moaning all the time. Because that's what we do as humans. You know what I mean? We follow the leader, you know what I mean? That's the tune. And with Bruno, I just think he sets the wrong example, man. And it's a shame because I think technically he's a very good player.
This is his game, you know what I mean, to turn up. If he turns on this game, then we'll be like, you know what, fair play. You know what I mean? You've shut everyone up who was kind of looking at you thinking, you know what, you're always moaning. I mean, I'm trying to look at the defense. Defense is not great. I mean, Reguilon should be playing there. I think it should be Dalot. I'm looking at Dalot versus Doku. That's for me one of the biggest games. But if it's Grealish, I can be a bit more confident. That's why I hope Grealish is starting the game against Dalot. Then I think, you know what, Grealish has got a good chance. But if Doku starts, then boy, man, Dalot's in for a long night. Even though he's playing well, I think defensively he can struggle 1v1. I think sometimes if a fullback is very, very explosive and quick, he does struggle a little bit in that regard. But he is actually playing well, to be fair. So I don't know, man. I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, boy, Dalot versus Doku or Dalot versus Grealish. Who do you reckon is going to start? Do you reckon it will be Grealish?
I think that's one of the positions which is up for grabs because Grealish has been pretty average, if not pretty below par this season. But against YB in the middle of the week, he had his best game this season. He was really, really good. He created some big chances. But Doku started this season electrically as well. So I think that's a tricky one for Pep. I don't know what he's going to do. You know what I mean? I think he's probably going to go Grealish because it's a big game. And I think he'll just give that respect to Grealish and be like, "Yo, you've still got the shirt." But depends, man. If he starts Doku, that tells me that he's going for the kill. That he thinks United are there for the taking because Doku's just a dribble spammer, and all he tries to do is take on his player and get the ball in the box. You know, his focus is like, I'm going to do this guy and either have a shot or create a chance. Grealish is more sort of more chill. He's like, okay, can I bring another guy into play? Can I stretch the play? Can I win a free kick? Can I do this? Can I do that? He's got that. He's probably got more to his game in that than Doku. But like I say, if he plays Doku, that sort of tells me that Pep's just going, yeah, we can smoke these.
He's a new one though, isn't it? You know what I mean? You always get these new players that come in and then everyone wants the shiny new toy. But you know what's mad? Yeah, like I remember he came. Did he play the Euros? Did he play the World Cup 2018? Was he in the squad? I'm sure he's been around for a while, Doku, in terms of like promising young players. I'm not sure if he came in on the World Cup 2018 or was he around there. I don't know. I'm trying to think, but I feel like he's a bit of player that has been around Europe but just never been that kind of like look at him thinking, wow, I want to sign him in that regard. So wow, like he's one of the most feared wingers. But when he's coming to this league now, he just looks so quick. He's strong, he's powerful, he's quite nimble in the fact that he's got this low sense of gravity as well. And he could just get Euros. Okay, that was it. Yeah, that was a Euros one. It was probably that Euros where he came in and I just thought, I said, hold on, but who's this kid here that's coming out of nowhere? And nah, man, he's electric, man. So, people say Ben White locked up Doku. Why? Listen, I don't know, man. It's one of them where you get me. Like he's another one. Then you got Foden as well. Foden in a derby. Last derby, I think he kind of struggled, to be fair, at home, didn't he? He got hooked off, didn't he? Foden.
At home?
Yeah, not away at Old Trafford.
What happened at home?
Well, obviously, he got a hat trick at home. But we're not doing well over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, he got a hat trick over there. But Foden as well, he'll know what it's like to be in a Manchester derby. There's always this kind of feeling with Foden, yeah, that, he's not going to get his moment now in this Manchester City team. But do you feel like away from home, he needs to do better? Yeah, it's almost like a player that maybe away from home, he doesn't show himself up a little bit in that regards. But Phil Foden, talk to me like,
I don't,
what I mean? Are you...
I don't know about the whole home and away because I've never looked at his home versus away stats. It's just there's this mad sort of agenda against Foden, and I don't know why. Because he's a fantastic English player, and if you're English, you should be backing him. And people gassing Saka up last year, saying he was absolutely world class. Foden, right? Only got like 3 less G&A than Saka all season. Do you know what I mean? So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, everyone goes on about Saka. He's absolutely phenomenal. He's absolutely phenomenal. Foden, by the way, I'd argue it's probably his worst season for City in the last 3 years because of injuries and shit. Only got like 3 or 4 G&A less. Someone in the chat can probably fact check that. So I don't know why this agenda. It's forced, man. It's forced for me. But I think if he plays, he's probably going to play on the right. Because I agree with you. I'd like to see Bernardo in midfield and stick Phil Foden on the right-hand side, which is where he scored a hat-trick against you guys last year at the Etihad. I think at your place, he played on the left because Mahrez played. So, yeah, and I actually think left wing is probably his worst position as well. I don't really think he suits that. So I think attacking mid or right wing is probably his best position. But, yeah, I don't really know why opposition fans try and push this on Foden, and people are like, he never starts. Look at his minutes. He starts a lot of matches, but this is Pep, mate. He rotates bare players. Guardiola's on the bench midweek. Stones misses out. Walker didn't play the Champions League final. Do you know what I mean? He's arguably the best right back this country's ever seen. Guy got dropped for a Champions League final. So I think people just speak too much on it, man. But yeah, it's a wild one. It's a wild one.
Yeah. Listen, I don't know, man. I think for me, it's one of them where Phil Foden, I can't lie to you. I've always rated him, even though he's a local lad, and I do have that kind of maybe soft spot in that way. But I think for me, he's one of them where he's a good player, man. He's a good player. Let's go back to the managers, Guardiola and Ten Hag. You guys were actually wanting Ten Hag to replace Guardiola. Remember a couple of years ago where he was rumoured to take over from Guardiola. Where do you think Ten Hag is in terms of the top managers in Europe now? Like, do you think he's at that level where Man United need to get to the next level? Do you think he's the one? If United sacked Ten Hag now, do you reckon there'd be a good manager to come in and replace him? Like, because sometimes, we could always say, like, Guardiola, get rid of him, etc., but is there someone that can replace him? You know what I mean? When you deep it.
Well, that's a good question. For me, I don't think people truly recognise how fucked Man United are. And I say that, again, with sincerity, guys. I ain't trying to say that as a murk situation. You need a manager that can handle the pressure. You need a manager that can get authority over these players. People speak on Ten Hag like he's this fucking mega manager, right? If you actually look at the facts, he won some Eredivisie titles with Ajax, right? Yeah, he won some Eredivisie titles with Ajax. GG's. But again, like how really can you really look into that? Yeah, it's the Eredivisie. But still give him his flowers. He won a couple of titles there. People say, well, look at his Champions League record at Ajax. He smashed it. No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Uh-huh.
These people are lying. He got to a semi-final. Well done. He then bottled the semi-final, as you'd all remember. Go and have a look at the other Champions League campaigns that he had with Ajax. Massively,
But with Ajax, with a
massively.
team that beat Real Madrid, beat Juventus, you know, like
Yeah.
this is the guy who dominated them
Yeah,
teams
no.
with
So
with
he
a
had-
budget
he had-
that wasn't great, significant as well.
So he had a good season, which I
Look where
said,
they are now. Look where they are now. Look where they are now.
no, bro. Yeah, but you're not Ajax. It don't matter to Man United where Ajax are. You know, Ajax could be top of the league, could be bottom. You don't care about Ajax. What I'm saying is, people are trying to gas this guy up and saying he had one good season in Champions League. I give him his flowers. But other than that, he massively disappointed in the other Champions League campaigns.
Guardiola, what was his highest finish in the Champions League without Man City or and Barcelona? Take out Man City and Barcelona. What did he do at Bayern? What was his highest finish over there? Bayern Champions
It
League.
was semi-final, was it? Where he got smacked up off Real Madrid.
Big Guardiola, you know. Big Guardiola.
Yeah, but bro, why are you trying?
No,
Why are you trying to banter me on this? You know what I mean? It's like,
no, I'm just trying to say, like, you know, sometimes we look at, you know, where managers are, but you got to remember what squad they had, who they were managing, and how far and what budget they have. It was quarterfinals as well. Why are you lying for? It was quarterfinals.
I don't care where we got. My point is this: is
Well, yeah, it does matter though. You know what I mean,
no, it doesn't matter. It
this
doesn't
is
matter.
Guardiola you're talking about.
Yeah, Guardiola, the best manager of all time. I'm looking at.
Yeah,
I'm
I
looking
know
at,
that.
I'm
I know
looking
that.
at Ten Hag, and I'm saying this from an advice perspective. Does Ten Hag have the credentials to get United through this horrific time? You've got this ownership problem. You've got the player problems, everything that's gone on over the last couple of years. You've got the
This
financial
win might
problems.
turn it around though. This win could turn it around.
It
You know what I mean?
could.
This win could be so
It could.
significant.
It could,
Yeah.
and maybe it will. My point is there
And
any
then you're only
evidence
3
to
points
support that?
behind City. It's mad.
Yeah.
It's mad world. I look at you. Look, I think there's big problems at United, yeah. But Ten Hag, I've always maintained he's not at the sacking point just yet. If we lose to you lot, 3 or 4-0, that could be a sackable moment because it's like, how many defeats are you going to go and get? But if he comes in and he competes and you end up winning 2-1, I think you can have some encouragement there. But the biggest problem for me, though, is what is Ten Hag's identity at the minute? There doesn't seem to be an identity. And that is where I think Ten Hag's in trouble. And when other managers had that, is when it kind of fell through. And this is the issue. I look at my United fans, yeah. What do my United fans really want? Do they want a manager who has a philosophy and has a style of play, but doesn't win trophies? Or do you want a manager who wins trophies, doesn't really have a style of play, and is results-based business? What is it for United fans? I don't think United fans know what they want. I really don't, because they were moaning under Mourinho, and they're going to moan now under Ten Hag. So and they moaned under Oli when maybe it was a little bit of great football. So which one is it for United fans? And I think for me, ultimately, the club loses identity, but also the fans have lost their identity in terms of I don't know what they want, because I'll give you right now, Hansi Flick comes in, we play good football. Let's see, no, actually, I'm gonna go one further. De Zerbi comes in next season. We play unbelievable football. We're absolutely tearing it up, playing out from the back, yeah. But then we get smashed at home, or sorry, smashed away from home by West Ham 3-0 because we're so exposed at the back. Do you think that would be something that United fans would take? No. Would you take that? Probably not as well. So I don't know, man. I don't know. You have to have a balance, though, man.
Because
I
United
thought
fans
Ten
are
Hag would
tired
be
now,
that balance,
Slade.
but it's not.
Because you're tired, bro. You know what I mean? I hate you all the time on your videos after losses. I'm tired. And it's true because
Tired, yeah.
it's been a decade of flip-flopping between different managers,
Yeah.
different styles of play. And ultimately, do you know what I mean? Like, if I think United fans are no different to any other set of fans. You know what I mean? I think if Ten Hag come in last year and he said, right, I'm playing this way, and we're not playing a different style of football. It's possession-based. It's high pressing. It's the first season. Yeah. We'll take a couple L's, take a couple of embarrassing defeats, but ultimately, we're going in one direction as a football club, and next year, the year after, we will compete at the top level, but it's going to take time. United fans will say, you know what? I get behind this. So manager's coming in with a plan, and let's see how we get on, right? But if you sack the manager now, you're 18 months into this current manager. You've then got to give the next manager, another year? Yeah, I mean, you're talking 3 years before you even are starting to look like you're competing for anything. It's like fans only have so much patience before they just, like you say, get tired. So, listen, I don't think I've always said this. Whilst I have massive reservations about Ten Hag, and I think that people do gas him up, I'm actually with you. I don't think he's quite at the sacking point yet. And I think, given what he did last year, he deserves a little bit more time. But he's
a little bit.
He's on the edge. I don't think he's too far away. I mean, if you lose, you'll be 10th.
Yeah, it's not good, man. And you know what I mean? It's not a good kind of gap to build in. Steps World, big up to everybody who sent super chats in the building. Has any Dutch player done well in the Premier League? What Dutch manager, sorry?
Hiddink
trying to think now.
What did Hiddink win?
Hiddink, yeah, he won a Premier League, I think.
He won a double, didn't he?
Done a double. He won the FA Cup and the Premier League in 2000 and was it 2000? No, did it? No, he only won the FA Cup. He only won the FA Cup.
Yeah, I don't think he won the Premier League. I don't think he did. He definitely won something though. He did all right.
Yeah, he did all right. Van Gaal did all right when he deep it FA Cup. You know, did all right-ish. But I suppose what do you count for success though, people? What do you count as success in that regards? I don't know. Koeman did a good job-ish, but I get what you mean. They've not been the greatest of managers though, have they? Let's be honest. Like they've not been, you know what I mean? Like they've not been like Jose Mourinho or them guys. Like they've not been that kind of people. But I suppose they've done all right in that
Mourinho was
regards.
the manager for you, in my view. I just think that you didn't give him what he wanted. I mean, he said, didn't he? What, get me a centre back, and you didn't get him a proper centre back. And listen, I think that when he come out and said coming second was the best achievement of his career, and he got mocked for it, didn't he?
Yeah.
You probably look back and go, the guy was speaking absolute facts.
That's the problem, though. I know we're under the Glazers right now, and things might be looking like we might be getting new owners and whatnot, and potentially new owners. But do you ever see Manchester United winning a Premier League trophy in the next 5 years? Let's look at 5 years. Do you reckon Man United win a Premier League in the next 5 years?
It's unlikely, isn't it? Because I had a similar conversation with Lee before. I said, United, this makes me sick saying this, but United are too big and have too much money to spend to not be in the mix to win domestic cups, right? So you'll always have a good enough squad to win an FA Cup.
Of course.
But to win a Prem or to win a Champions League, I mean, you guys know it. You've done it yourself more than we have. You almost need everything at the club to be right, because when you get deep in the competition, whether it's Champions League or Prem, you need everyone to be on the same page, because it's stressful, man. And I don't think at the moment United have that. So to answer that question, I don't see United winning the Premier League in the next 5 years, but that doesn't mean they can't win cups, FA Cups. What's it called? Carabao Cups. Maybe if you don't qualify for Champions League, you get Conference League or Europa League, maybe you'll win that. I mean, that's just sickening saying that for you, isn't it? You know what I mean? I can see it in your eyes, man. Can't imagine United in the Europa League.
I don't want to go in that back in the Europa League. Playing Thursday nights is the worst thing ever, man. Like that's date night, that's relaxation night, that's movie night, man. That's chilled out night. Thursday nights, mate. You know what I mean? It's not good, man. It's not good. So I don't want to ever play in that Europa League. God forbid we're in the Conference League. That would be worse. But the last time we won a Premier League, man, I don't know if I've showed you that photo, man. Let me show you the photo of the last time we won the Premier League. I don't know if I've told people this or I've shown people. This is the last time we won the Premier League.
Oh, shit, man. Yo.
Can you see that? Can anyone see that there?
Yeah, you can see that.
That is the last time. I was 19 years old, bro. I went to the parade. I was there, man. That was the last time we won it, man. You know what I mean? And that's 10 years ago, man.
Yeah, and ultimately, you guys didn't have a plan, like when Ferguson left, and the fact.
But he left at the right time. And Guardiola, we could have got Guardiola to replace us. You know?
Yeah, and let's be honest, like Fergie screwed you a little bit there. Fergie screwed you a little bit.
I don't think he did.
No, he did. But don't tell me he didn't. He said get Moyes. Come on, man.
Yeah. No. Sorry. I thought you meant as in he saw what was coming. Maybe he did. You know what I mean? No, I'm not 35, man. I'm not 35, guys. You know what I mean? Don't do that. But you know what it is, though? I just looked at it and I thought, with Fergie, he made the wrong choice. The club didn't act on their own accord. Guardiola was there, man. Could have got Guardiola. Could have got Jurgen Klopp. He said no. there was better suitors for that time. Could have got Mourinho. I think Mourinho would have been a good choice after Fergie to keep the standards up. But we got David effing Moyes, mate. And that was it for me. Like, if you remember, you know how bad that was? I was in uni, in my first year of uni. And oh my God, man, it was depressing, man. I used to come back from the student bar, when I was watching the game and going home with my mates and just talking about how bad we were every single day. You know what I mean? Like that's how bad it was for United, but it was so bad. And you know what? Then it just kept getting worse and worse. And then the next season I got a season ticket. And then I just ever since it's been so horrendous for Man United.
You got your season ticket at the wrong time, didn't you?
Yeah, well, there you go.
You know what's madness though, bro? It's like, is it 10 years, right, since you last won the Prem? Because it was 2013, wasn't it? Right. And you just said to me, can you see United winning the Prem in the next 5 years? I'm saying to that, like, genuinely, I don't at this moment in time see United winning the Prem in the next 5 years. But that's 15 years. That's 15 years, bro. And you know the time flies, man. 5 years will be gone like that. And imagine me saying to that young Saeed, 10 years ago, bro, you ain't going to win a Premier League for 15 years. Imagine the odds you would have got on that. That would have been a madness.
Yeah, and also Man City winning the next how many? And this is the problem for you, though, is how much can you dominate? You've got 6 Premier League now, haven't you? Have you got 6 Premier League? 6, 6.
Is it not 7?
2012, 2014, 2000 you didn't win it in 16. 17, did you win it?
Because 17. He's won 4. Or has he won 4? 5, 6. Yeah, I think it is 6 actually. I thought
20,
Pep won 5.
21, 22. I think it might be 8, you know. I think it's a 7 or 8. Let me see. I don't know. Guys, I'm not good at maths in it, so Premier League.
7 Prems.
7, 7. 7 Premier Leagues. We've got 13, obviously 20 altogether in terms of premierships and whatnot, because it wasn't the Premier League until 92, but we've got 20 times. We've got 13 Premier Leagues. Can Pep Guardiola last that long though to get another? How many does he need?
Yeah. Well, this is the thing with the Champions League. You know, like United always gone about this massive historic.
No. We've got a poor record. We've got a poor
record.
Yeah,
this is what I'm saying. It's like your European record is really poor considering some United fans go on about how historic the club is. Right? You only won 3. So only 2 behind you, and we could win it.
We got robbed though 2. I feel like we could have won more. Barcelona robbed us of 2 because I feel like we just come against guess who?
Yeah.
Guardiola. This guy, man. This guy is literally, he might be the bane of Manchester United fans, you know. He stopped Manchester United from winning 2 European Cups. He came into City's most dominant era. Like, Pep Guardiola might be the ultimate nemesis to Manchester United. Like, genuinely. Okay, the Glazers are the biggest obstacle we've ever faced. But also Guardiola. Because this weren't happening under Mancini. Mancini came in and effed off after a year or 2. Pellegrini came in for 2 years and still effed off, and he weren't good enough. But Guardiola has been the biggest signing Manchester City have made. I don't care what anybody says about hour of money. It's Guardiola. Guardiola is the Manchester City kind of almost, I don't know, the pinnacle of what they've actually done. You know, and that's the problem.
He's him, innit?
So, no. When people say, when I say Saeed stopped the outclassing, no, I'm saying it is still robbed because I feel like had we played, I don't know, an Inter Milan or something. I know Inter Milan were good at the time, but had we played another team, we would have had a chance. But the first one, we had 10 minutes of quality. The second one, we got outclassed. But ultimately, Guardiola is up there, man. And you know what? He's an amazing manager. I don't really hate on Guardiola because I'm like, it gets to hate, but it gets to the point where you just have to admire the stuff that he's done with Man City in terms of revolutionizing teams. I know he's had money, but you've also got to do well with your money as well. So,
bro, at the end of the day, bro, he's managed 2 of the best teams of all time. The City team last year and that Barcelona team. And it's funny, actually, because people are probably like, oh, I'm so biased. I personally, despite being a City fan, still think that Barcelona team was, for me, the best team that I've ever seen in my life. It was frightening. And it's funny because I speak to some people on the streams, you know, Mo from Never a Foul, speak to him. He thinks that last year's City team was the best team of all time. I still think Barcelona under Pep Guardiola was the best team of all time, and they was frightening, man. They was once they got going, Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, Messi, bro. They had some players, didn't they? David Villa as well, Puyol. Wow, man.
No, it was quality, man. You lot were quality, man. And you know what? Fair play to you guys. You were top dogs in Europe. So, nah, you were 100%. And like I said to you, Guardiola, do you think he'll ever get to like? Do you think? Well, it depends. Will he outclass Fergie? Do you reckon he can do it? Do you reckon he's stay enough? Like, when do you reckon he'll max out and just think, you know what, I'm done now?
Well, yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I already think he's a better manager than Fergie. I know you guys will disagree.
That's a whole separate video.
Yeah, that gets people going, man. But yeah, I don't know, because obviously, what did Fergie win? 13 Prems, and Pep's on 5. So yeah, he's not gonna win. He's not gonna get to 13. But it'd be interesting, yeah, because if he wins Champions League this year, he might look at that and go, "Hang on a minute, United only won 3. I could potentially win another one and match City, who went from 0
really close to you lot. The problem is with it, you got Chelsea, who are, I would say, transitioning. You've got Arsenal, who, for me, look like serial bottlers. I'm sorry, Arsenal fans, especially with Arteta. I think you need a better manager than him. We're raised to be seen. I do want Arsenal to win the league. Liverpool are there, but then, I don't know, like they've won 1 in 30. So have they got this kind of almost mental stumbling block? Who else is there? Like, Tottenham maybe this season could do something. There's not much anyone else out there, and that's the problem. When we had competition, we had the great Arsenal team. We had the great Chelsea team. We had the great, well, that was probably it then. Yeah, just them two. But then there were 2 great teams in different eras. So, that was something. No, I'm just saying, like, do you reckon now is your time to dominate even more, like, you know what I mean, and put the foot down and be like, yo, like, we might have won 3, but we're winning 4,
Yeah, I mean, 4's never been done, innit? 4's never been done in this
country. That's what I'm saying.
That is some record, because someone said to me, would you rather win 4 Prems in a row or not win the Prem, but win back-to-back Champions Leagues, which only 2 teams in England have done, which is Liverpool.
I can't lie to you. Shall I ask you? Shall I be honest with you? I think for you lot, it would be rather Champions League back-to-back,
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know, because nobody has ever won 4 in a row.
Premier League, it's good, yeah, but then you'll still win 4 in 5. You can still win 4 in 5, but back-to-back, has it been done before back-to-back? I think someone's done it. Real Madrid have only done it, and AC Milan.
Liverpool and Forest done it in the 70s. So they have already. So English have already done that.
Let me know in the chat. What would you rather do? Back-to-back titles, or would you rather do 4 Premier Leagues in a row?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Because I'm split on it, because no one's ever won 4 titles in a row. I'm like, that is like historic. Like this, how long has football been going in this country?
Everyone's going to call it boring, though. Everyone's going to call it boring, then.
Oh, I don't care. It's not my. I don't like really.
But what's more like, like, what's more cherished? You're going to cherish the moment.
It's in the history books, though, bro. It's in the history books, man.
Back-to-back Champions Leagues.
Yeah, but that's already been done. That's already. But the reason I'm torn on it is because if we win it this year, then we're 1 behind you in the Champions League, and that makes me like giddy then, because I'm like, yo, imagine we could get power with United, man. That is a madness.
Yeah, that's true as well. But like I said, I just hope, you get me, like we can challenge again. My hope is only to challenge nowadays, man. I'll be real with you. I don't even think my hope is now to even win Premier Leagues. I think it's about challenging, if I'm being honest with you. So we'll see. Give me your team for tomorrow before we wrap up the team, and then we'll go to predictions. Give me your team for tomorrow.
Sunday,
yeah.
By the way, El Clasico, you're gonna watch that tomorrow, man? Can you believe?
Yeah, I'm watching that. I'm doing that.
That's not on UK TV.
I'm doing that tomorrow.
Can you believe that?
Sorry,
it's not on TV.
ITV.
No, it's not on TV.
No, it is. It'll be on somewhere.
It's not on TV. Someone said in the chat. I checked it. It's not on ITV. It's not on Sky. It's not on Viaplay. It's not on TNT, man. It's a madness.
Nah, that's not real. That's not real.
It's on La Liga TV, whatever that is.
You have to pay for that, though. You have to pay for that.
I think so. I don't think it's going to be free. So maybe someone in the
Nah,
chat
people.
can.
Yeah, because I was planning to do the watch along.
Same here. So we're gonna have
So
to find a dodgy way. But yeah, if anyone in the chat
yeah,
can tell us. But yeah, listen, for me,
yeah,
you're my team, right? So my team is to be honest with you, you kind of mentioned my team anyway. So it's what is it? It's Edison in goal, Guardiola left back, it's John
yeah.
Stones, Diaz in the middle, Kyle Walker right back with John Stones inverting into midfield, Rodri there as well. Alvarez and Bernardo Silva in the middle.
Yeah.
Foden on the right, Haaland up top, and on the left, I'm gonna go Grealish, man.
Okay.
Go to get in the same game, so let's see if he can cook.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go with Onana in goal. I'm gonna go with Dalot, Maguire, Varane, Reguilon, Casemiro, Amrabat, Ericsson, Anthony, Hoyland. You know what? Garnacho, because I thought he did well against Thingy, against what's his name? Kyle Walker. Remember when he came on in the derby and cooked Kyle Walker? You never know. You never know. It could happen. So that's my team. Predictions. I've gone with 2-0 to Man City. I don't think we're going to win. A lot of people came at me last night, but I just have to be open and honest. I just don't see us getting a result, if I'm being really honest with you. But who knows? If we get a draw, unbelievable. If we get a win, sensational. But that's just me. What are you saying?
I'm looking at a 2-0 as well. I don't think. Whilst we could smack you up, I don't see that happening. I just don't see it. And a draw could happen, like you say. I just don't see how United beat City on Sunday. You know what I mean? If you look at the teams, you look at the form, I just don't see how United outscore City on Sunday. Could they get a draw? Of course they could.
Yeah.
But I'd find it. I mean, fair fucks. If United managed to pull off a win, I mean that's insane. You know what I mean, with the team that they've got. So yeah, I'm gonna go for a 2-0 win as well. I think it'll be 2-0.
Yeah. Okay.
An actual band. Admin in the chat says Garnacho band.
Yeah. No. Apparently, it's not happened just yet. But I don't think he'll be banned for this derby. It's a bit like Tonali, innit? Tonali didn't get banned for a while, did he? So until he gets banned, then we'll
because
find
they've got to do
out.
like a full investigation, man. So it's going to take time.
Yeah.
Innit?
Yeah, and to be honest with you, just to speak on the Garnacho thing, I'm not gonna lie to you. Listen, I know what he put out there, and it has derogatory meaning. Obviously, it's got racial undertones behind it, but I don't think Garnacho meant any harm in it. So, as much as I say, when people do that online and they put like monkey emojis, you know what that means, people. You know what I mean? It's very, very derogatory. You know the racial undertones behind it. But for me, I don't think Garnacho meant any harm in it. You know what I'm saying to you? For me, it's something that you've got to understand and educate yourself in when you're using certain emojis and you're using certain languages. You've got to be very careful as a footballer because you are a role model and you've got to realize that. And whatever you say, whatever you do, whatever you kind of put out there, it will be out in the public open and the public domain. So he's done that. I'm sure, like I said to you, he's spoken to Onana. He's probably apologized to him behind the scenes. That's why Onana came in and defended that. But yeah, he's got to be smarter. He's got to be smarter, man. He's got to realize that these kind of emojis are very, very, you just can't do them, man. You cannot do them because people use it in a bad way. And when you use it in a way that you think isn't a bad way, people still assume. So you can't let people assume. You can't let people get in that moment.
Yeah.
So
I'm not going to add too much more, but yeah, I think he was just because he put the gorilla emojis, but I think he was doing because if you look at the photo, Onana's like chest out, you know what I mean? So
and
obviously so I don't think he's done it to be a racist, but like you say, when you're a professional footballer, you've got to think about what you're doing and shit in it. So
yeah, facts.
Unfortunate situation.
Facts. Someone's asking why footballers role models or should be. I don't really like glorify footballers in that kind of aspect, but they are kind of role models because young supporters, bro. Look at Grealish. Grealish is loved everywhere, man. So it is what it is, and that's that. Yeah, absolutely, guys. Make sure you like the video. We've got over 500 in it, and I'm just gonna look at the like on the video. We've got currently 238 likes. Can we get that to 300 likes? That would be amazing. What do you reckon, LB? 300 likes? Can they do that?
That's the minimum, innit? Minimum.
Minimum, people, man. Just like the video. Like I said, man, you don't have to super chat. You don't have to become a member. But what you can do is free. Is hit the like button. The algorithm at the minute is not the greatest, so we need them. We need the likes to be up, up, up. This stream will redirect you to Lewis's channel. He's got a video coming out, a stream coming out after this. Make sure you go and check it out. Support his channel. Like the video. LB, until Sunday. You know what? I'll actually call you. Call me on Sunday, and I'll probably be there. You know what I mean? And then we'll chat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Yeah, enjoy the game, man. It's going to be it's a big one for both teams, and I think it could be a turning point for both team seasons, man. So yeah, big up the chat, man. Make sure you drop a like and sub up, man. Sub up.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, man, big up to everybody who's been watching the stream. I think I'll be live later on with the Big Six for the pro clubs. I don't know if you play FIFA in a minute, but yeah, definitely do that. Also, people, make sure you check out the Manchester Derby preview. Did you watch it, mate?
I was busy at the time, but I was like glancing in and out, like
yeah. Make sure you check it out, people, man. It was a good preview. Went to a cafe, old school style, proper. It was good, man. I was in like, the heart of Salford, man. Some next random area, man. Snacktastic, they were called, the bar. So
I
check it
seen
out.
that
And
bit.
yeah, and hopefully Tottenham lose. Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, I mean, we'll see that. I want to see Toby hold that L. But guys, I'll see you next time. We're out. Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't know why my screen's gone blank, man. But yeah, man, nice one for that, bro. I appreciate it, man, coming on and that and helping me out.
Yeah,
It went all right,
no.
to be fair. Oh, shit. The stream's not